A young 25-year-old girl who's fit and well, who's in a domestic abuse relationship, found dead after her partner's just discovered she's been seeing another man.
Danielle Charters-Christie was the oldest of 4 children. Her family say she loved to learn, had a deep passion for animals and made their lives complete. But her parents say things started to change when she moved to Gloucestershire to live with her partner. And 7 years later, in February 2021, it was not the police who told Danielle's parents of her sudden death, but the partner's father over the phone.
I asked the partner how Danielle had done this, and he said, "I'm not telling you." So I said, "I don't understand why you're not telling me." He swore and said that Danielle had hung herself.
Gloucestershire police spent just 55 minutes at the scene where Danielle had died before ruling her death a suicide. Danielle had experienced depression when much younger, but at the time of her death she was said to be in a good place and making plans for the future. In the days after her body was found, Danielle's parents' questions only grew.
More and more people started contacting me, telling me that they feared, that this may have been an argument that had got out of hand. One of her best friends telling me how badly the partner had treated my daughter.
Hours before Danielle's death, her partner had sent a message to her friend saying he'd discovered she was seeing someone else.
No one was questioned about her death?
No.
When her mother managed to get hold of an officer, she was told Danielle's partner had been cautioned by the force for assaulting her in the past. But her pleas for the police to investigate further and to conduct a forensic post-mortem, she says, fell on deaf ears.
One officer said, "We're going to have to agree to disagree, Caroline. Your daughter committed suicide. I've been called hostile by the police. I've been told to stop asking questions. It's been tough."
Caroline also learned that the partner's father, a local funeral director, was allowed to personally transport Danielle's body from where she was found to the mortuary under police escort, a decision approved by Gloucestershire Coroner's Office. One her family say is deeply inappropriate.
And the police also allowed the father to stop off his house to get changed on the way to the mortuary. I am absolutely disgusted and outraged. It should never happen, and I will make sure it never ever happens again.
Danielle's partner's father later told police that he requested to transfer Danielle's body because he viewed her as family and they were undertakers, and that he wanted to get changed and dressed properly out of respect. Police did eventually arrest Danielle's partner on suspicion of murder more than a year later, but he was released without charge, police telling Caroline that there wasn't enough evidence to pursue a case. We've made repeated requests for comment from both Danielle's former partner and his father, but are yet to receive a response. An external review of Gloucestershire Police's investigation into Danielle's death, seen by Channel 4 News, found that police had failed to forensically examine the porch where her body was found. By the time of her boyfriend's arrest more than a year later, the porch had been dismantled, with Danielle's boyfriend saying he'd disposed of the caravan they had shared in the months after her death. On whether there was third-party involvement, the review listed several possibilities as to how she may have died, including that she was killed, but that the evidence is simply not available and not likely to ever become available.
Danielle's family were appalled by the fact that the father of the man they say was abusing their daughter, they suspect of abusing their daughter, was allowed to transfer her body to the mortuary in his capacity as undertaker. Can you clarify the police role in this and what you make of it?
A request was made to us at the scene. That request was escalated to the coroner. That's normal practice. The coroner made a decision to allow the transfer of the body to take place in that way, with the caveat that it was escorted at all times by 2 police officers, which was done.
What I'm hearing from you now is that actually you don't think there's much necessarily wrong with the way that this was dealt with initially, in those initial stages.
There's no doubt that the transfer of the body was unusual.
And deeply inappropriate, given that the partner was later arrested and interviewed on suspicion of murder, that his father would be the person to handle and transport the body to the mortuary.
As the reviews into this case have demonstrated, there are things that we could have and should have done differently, and there are certainly lessons for us all to learn.
I want to see accountability, and if that's accountability from the police, then that is what I'm going to fight for. And I honestly do believe that my daughter gives me strength to carry on doing this.
Yeah. What do you think she makes of all of this?
She'd be saying, come on, Mum, keep going. Yeah.